Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. My name is Tanika.
And I'm Ava.
And today we're going to be discussing Selling Sunset. Before we get to that, though, we have some announcements. Just a couple announcements, nothing too big. B90 is coming on Sunday, so we will be covering that. Won't be going through all of the new castmates, but pretty much everybody is new in the season, except for Gino and Jasmine, that I'm really excited for. I'm excited to see them. I want to see some more hats being removed and for craziness. I'm so ready. He has a new hat now. I don't know if you saw that. He has a new hat. He has like a, I don't know if you call it, it's not really like a fedora, but he has like a different style hat. He doesn't have like the ugly caps anymore.
Oh.
So
wait, okay, you said fedora. Okay, so that still covers the ball.
It still covers because he doesn't want
I was
want
thinking
that.
of visor when you said it, and I was like, well,
no. Okay. We can't have that according to Gino.
Oh, wow.
So, and then our second announcement, just want to announce that we're available on all podcast apps, still working on iHeartRadio. It's taking a little longer, but we're on everything else. We're on Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We're everywhere. If there is a preferable app that you don't see us on, please let us know, and we'll get it on your favorite podcast app. And then just one more thing for everyone who has listened to our podcast, our last podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know how we made it. It's Germany and Finland, but we did.
Oh, we did?
We did, yeah.
Oh, hey, Germany, what's up? What do you do?
We know you're the happiest country. Thank you so much. I believe as of this recording, and again, I looked at this yesterday. We're recording on a Thursday right now. We've had like 12 people listen to us. Like, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Again, just tell all your friends.
Wait, did my listening count?
Did you listen to it on a podcast app?
No, I didn't.
Then no, it doesn't count.
Oh, okay. Okay, so these are legit views, people, so thank you.
Thank you so much. And we also had 11 views on YouTube.
Nice.
So we're doing it. Thank you so much. Okay, so the reason we're here, like I said, Selling Sunset, Season 6, Episode 2, TBD on Brie is the name of the episode. So let's get into it. First thing. So Chelsea, she has a new house listing. This is where we start off on. Mary and Nicole come to see Chelsea in her new listing. And as we mentioned before, Nicole is new on the season. She officiated Mary's wedding, so we did see her briefly sometime in whatever season that she got married. So they're friends, been friends for a while. Someone says no one likes a know-it-all. I'm gonna guess that was probably Nicole.
That was Chelsea.
That was Chelsea.
Chelsea says no one likes know-it-all because Chelsea, what's her name? You just said it.
Nicole.
Nicole was giving her advice about Chelsea's listing. So she was like, girl, I got this. I know what I'm doing too. Nobody wants to know it all.
Which is not surprising whatsoever.
Right.
Because Nicole has that, I know everything.
Right. She really does. She really does. So even for Chelsea to pick up on that and say it, I was ready to, get in there, but I was like, yeah, she did come in. And you know what? I don't even know why Mary brought her there. Like, I mean, you really didn't see these two like not agreeing, or
here's what I'm gonna say about Mary.
She's naive.
not even so much naive. I feel like she takes this approach of if it's not happening around me, or it's not affecting me personally, I'm
Right.
not going to deal with any of it. Like
Yeah.
she takes that very backseat approach, which is just not how you should take that approach when you are a manager. You
Exactly.
can't do that.
Exactly. She's in a managerial role. She needs to step up and nip things in the bud right when she notices them and not just
Exactly.
think that grown people are going to work things out on their own. I mean, there's a
Exactly.
reason why companies and people have HRs in place and, other managers in place to deal with certain things. Like, why would you think that you wouldn't be held to that standard? It's just really weird.
And I don't know if Jason and Brett really thought it through when they decided to give Mary this role,
Not all the way through, no.
because it doesn't just mean, oh, you are have all these sales and you do good in the real estate game. There's so much more to it because you are unfortunately dealing with catty women
Exactly.
who have strong opinions and whatnot. Um, okay, so I believe, is Chelsea supposed to be co-listing this property with somebody else?
Yes, I think at
Okay,
the request of
the
the
client.
client,
Right,
that's what she's supposed to do. So that's why she's like to Chelsea, nobody likes to know it all because
right,
it's like this is what the client wants. I'm doing what the client wants, which is what you're
right.
supposed to do.
Exactly,
Any
100%.
good broker, you would listen to your client and you will deliver on that. You can advise them all you want, but at the
Hmm.
end of the day, the client will make the final decision.
Absolutely.
So I do understand Chelsea's approach and I support it. Like I get it. But,
And
from
she's not the
Nicole,
only person who has done co-listings.
exactly.
Like,
Nicole's just looking at it from like this one point of view, like, I'm not trying to share my money with anybody.
yeah, she
And
just wants
like,
the commission to herself.
exactly.
And the thing is like, okay, so then Nicole, I have a question for you. Have you never dealt with a co-listing, or have you ever dealt with a client who's
Well,
wanted a
we know that she
co-listing?
kind of did a co-listing with,
That is true.
right.
We'll get there. So it's it's just, but even outside of that situation with Chrishell, it's like, have you never had this happen, or have you always turned down co-listings? Because at the end of the day, okay, sure, maybe you don't want to share your money, or you just want to do this by yourself and whatever. But if you're, like you said, if your client wants a co-listing because they have real estate agents that they have two different ones that they really like and they like their approach and whatever, then you respect what that person wants. And
Exactly.
I just don't get how she's gone this long without ever doing a co-listing.
And like, who are you to like advise Chelsea when she's already explicitly told you the client wants this, and I don't want to go against the client because there's my ass, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna lose this listing. So
yeah.
like, what are you really saying to her? You're a seasoned real estate agent. What are
Mhm.
you really saying right now? Like stop it. What are
So
you doing?
you would rather lose half a commission
Exactly. Then
and just get,
all
and then
and get
exactly,
nothing.
exactly, because you're, whether you're either coming and getting half or you're getting zero. Like that's, and I feel like I don't like her. I don't like her. At the end of the day, like, she didn't ask you your opinion on the co-listing. She's made that decision for herself. Whether you like to do co-listings or not, Nicole, no one gives a rat's ass
Exactly.
what
And let's
you
be for real
think.
here, girl. You're a tag along. So shut it all the way up. You're a tag.
Exactly.
You're here to see and
And
girl,
view
right.
and leave.
Exactly.
Like, come on. Okay, so next scene. Chrishell is in the office. And this is when we learn that Nicole and Chrishell don't like each other.
Right.
And all we know at this point is that something happened between Nicole and Chrishell. It's no one specifying what happened. And I'm over here being like, okay, well then if you're gonna tell us you don't like the girl, I want reasons.
Yeah.
I don't want just, something happened and I don't care.
Of
Like,
course they're gonna drag it out. Like,
yeah, well, yeah, no,
we
that's
did find out a little bit in this episode as to why. So
yeah,
yeah.
So Jason starts the team meeting by saying, happy to have Chrishell back. Okay. We're just gonna skip on past that. Buyers exclusive. I don't know why I wrote that. So we're
So
probably gonna
that's
add
when
that.
so that's about Bree not getting a buyer's exclusive from her client because she
Right.
trusts them.
Right. And
Right.
she trusts that and she doesn't want to go that route. And who brought
Right.
up the buyer's exclusive? Was it Nicole? It
Yeah,
was
I think
Nicole,
so.
right?
Of course it was.
Of course it
Miss Know
was.
It All.
We're
Right. But
basically
I
gonna
mean, typically, I guess that is how they operate, right? You want to lock your
yeah,
client down, right?
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
it's just, it's a
It's like any
formality.
contract.
Exactly. It is
Yeah,
a formality, but I mean, there are other ways to do it clearly, and it works for her. And
yeah.
once again, nobody asked you.
No,
Nobody asked you, bitch.
no. I mean,
What?
it's even, and here we go, bringing in the law aspect of things. It's just like in our industry, we have retainer agreements, but at
Right.
the same time, people can break out of retainer agreements. It has happened. So
Exactly.
it's like you're not locked down. Maybe it's different when you're dealing with buyer exclusives, fine, but there is always a loophole and there is
There's always.
always a way to get out of a contract. So if Bree decides that this is the route she wants to take and that she doesn't want to bring in a buyer's exclusive into the relationship with her clients, that's her choice. Like
Exactly.
Nicole, again, no one asked you. So, and I wrote, Nicole is annoying me. That's at the point where I'm like, I'm done with you. And I said, and she talks a lot. Bitch, you're annoying. And I said, and the reason why I said, bitch, you're annoying is because she brings up, I don't like the bell. I don't want to ring the bell.
Right, because she said
I don't care.
she would have to ring it like 65 times.
Then don't ring it.
It's like, what?
Then don't ring it because
She's trying to do like a subtle brag, like, toot her own horn, like,
yeah,
bitch, I'm that good at my job.
I don't care.
So I'm gonna be ringing this bell in your ear all damn day. So if that's what y'all want, then I'll ring the bell. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a
But
flex.
she is hate. Here's my thing. I remember when Chrishell talked about the bell, and I was thinking, that's a great idea. Bring in the bell, like celebrate yourself when you get, you can close on a deal. Here's why Nicole doesn't like the bell because it was Chrishell's idea.
Yeah. Boom.
Exactly. This is why she doesn't like the bell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going with the bell.
Yeah. Let's just move right out along
In a
because
second.
yeah, I peeped that too.
Because not even a second after we get this in the moment with Nicole about the bell, we find out Mary closed on a property.
For
Doesn't matter.
30.
Doesn't my girl go ring that bell?
Right.
Her ear.
Right.
Good.
Right.
I really hope that bell's annoying you like you are annoying me. So, okay. So then Bree then brings up the friend situation with Chelsea at this last open house that we talked about in the first episode.
Right.
And asking her, like, why were they there?
Yeah.
Did you know that I knew them?
Right. To be honest, I didn't really like that. I didn't think that was the moment
no,
to bring that up. I think she
no,
definitely should ask, absolutely, because
yeah,
it was clearly a setup and Chelsea's playing
yeah,
boo boo the damn fool. Like,
yeah.
bitch, we see right through you. We know what you're doing. Stop it. And I just think in that moment, it's not for everybody to hear. I think this is a Chelsea issue, a Chelsea problem, and let's move it to a later time, a later date in a corner somewhere, or after the meeting, you two stay on the couch and discuss. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? But
The
like,
team meeting isn't the time to have a personal thing with one of the other
exactly,
people.
because now you're inviting everybody else into
Opinion.
a
Yeah.
problem. So
Yeah.
now it's going to get magnified. It's going to get blown out of proportion, and you're going to have all these people in your business that shouldn't be. So
Exactly.
I didn't think it was a good
And it
move,
also
but
makes you look kind of immature to be bringing up this type of situation.
exactly.
It's now isn't the time.
Exactly.
Um,
Like you have no tact when you're, dealing with stuff like this. I don't know. I think she
yeah,
should have really thought it out. But maybe you know what? Maybe she was worked up and it was like, in her mind and she had Chelsea there. Maybe she felt safer in a group setting confronting
maybe
Chelsea so
that's
that
true.
she could show like, look, like Chelsea's the bad guy. It's not me. Or I don't know.
I don't
But
know,
I
but
I, I personally wouldn't.
yeah, especially because you are newer to the brokerage, you still have to be so careful because Chelsea, even though she is also somewhat new to the brokerage, she's still been there a year.
Exactly.
So you have to think it through as to how you want to deal with a situation.
Exactly,
I,
because now you're going to be viewed as confrontational
mhm,
and people are going to be side eyeing you. Like,
yeah,
like, okay, this girl's a problem. Let's watch out because she's going to, you know, I don't know.
exactly,
Mm,
exactly. It
you
just
should have thought that through, Bree. You should have
then
thought through, sweetie. I still love you though, and you're gorgeous, but you should
oh,
have
she
thought
is.
it through. You should have
And of
thought.
course, as we've mentioned, Chelsea did know about this whole situation, and we kind of asking ourselves, okay, well, then did Chelsea set her up? We never really
Right.
got an answer to that, but anyways. Um, so next scene, Emma is at a listing, one of her listings. Chelsea comes with one of her clients. His name is Niraj. He's a billionaire.
Oh,
He
hey.
didn't he didn't look like a billionaire.
They don't
They
look the
don't.
part.
But that's
You know what I
that's
mean?
that's my thing.
Even take Jay-Z, for example. Like, he is filthy rich. This
Filthy.
man wears a fucking crew neck from Walmart and like no jewelry, no nothing. And he's just like you don't need to be flashy like that.
No.
People know you got
But
money.
then that brings, and like this is completely off topic of this show, but that just kind of brings into the fact of you always hear people who have money don't flaunt it. People
Right.
that don't have money try to flaunt something.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
I used to, full disclosure, I used to work at the Bay years and years ago. And they had this one section in the Bay where they had all these expensive shoes that cost like $1,000 and up and stuff. And then you had people coming in looking at these shoes. And I'm like, girl, you can't afford that. I can tell already because you look like you want to make it look like you can afford this. And
Right.
you can't. But it's just like, it just kind of goes to show I don't need to flaunt shit if I don't
Exactly.
when I have shit.
If I ain't
I
got it, I ain't got it.
I don't got it and I don't want it. so, um so we're kind of going through the house and we notice when they go outside, there is this King Kong statue near the
Yeah.
pool. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, what is this gaudiness that I am looking at?
Gaudiness.
Why is there a King Kong statue
I
and
didn't
it's
get
out by
it.
the pool?
Let's stay out of rich people business. It makes sense to them, and that's all that matters. He
It just
liked it. The client
it
liked it. He was
it
like,
just it
yeah.
just makes me think of like, may he rest in peace, Michael Jackson going out there and buying things. And I'm like, do you need that though? Do you need that? Like, God. Anyways, Chelsea mentions to Bree that to Emma that Bree did not need to bring up anything at the team meeting. Like, why did she have to bring up the situation that they were talking about with the friends at the other thing? Um, it just wasn't appropriate. We kind of already touched on that, but that's what they were
We're
talking.
in agreement there, Chelsea. You can have that one.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
you have that, but that
Yeah.
does not take away from the fact that you did not need to do what you did in the first place.
And you damn well knew what you did. Let's be
Exactly.
very clear. Don't play these games.
And my question is, and again, we'll get further into this when we get further into the season and you kind of shed some light to this, but it's like in the moment you're just like, Chelsea, are you jealous of Brie? Are
Of
you
course.
threatened
She's
by Bree?
intimidated by her for sure.
Or is there something else underlying going on that is making you feel like this way? And I'm going after another person like this. It just doesn't make, at the moment, it just never made sense to me as to why are you jealous of her? It's just like
Right.
what is it about her that is making you?
I think it's multi-layered, and we'll see it unfold later on in the seasons, but it's
Yeah,
it's a combination of things, in my opinion.
yeah, it is.
Right.
Okay, so Chelsea, Trishelle, my bad, and Amanza, they're at dinner and they talk about the issue with Nicole. So then we kind of now start to find out what is going on between these two women. And
Right.
here, and I'm confused in terms of the timeline, but it's gone back and forth between 2 or 3 years ago or whatever. But we'll say 2 or 3 years ago, prior. So we're talking years ago.
Right.
Jason got both Chrishell and Nicole on a listing. This would have been in the beginning of Chrishell's career. So what would make the best sense? Let's put Chrishell on a listing with a more seasoned real estate
Right.
agent who
Right.
can show her the ropes and, whatever. Nicole, as we have already heard prior, did not want Chrishell to be on the listing. She didn't want her to get the credit when the house was sold. And I think there's a lot of layers here with this that um, we as people who are not real estate agents may not understand, but I can try my best here. I think when it came to the listing being, we're going to say quote unquote posted, I can't remember the term that they call it. But once it's actually put out into the public and it's anyone can come see the house, the real estate agent, if you're on co-listing, only one real estate agent's name can actually show up on that posting.
Oh.
That's usually how it works. You don't always see that it's a co-listing
Oh.
until you're in the moment and then you see. Chrishell's name was the one that was shown on that posting for this
Only
listing.
her name?
Only Chrishell's. Because as far as I know, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure from what I've learned in other shows that I've watched as well, it's usually just one person's name that you see showing up on that,
A poll listing?
even on a co-listing. But it shouldn't matter because at the end of the day, both agents are going to bring their clients in, whatever the case may be. And then, even more so, and again, I have limited knowledge, but even more so, if you have someone coming in who is your client and you are also representing the other client, then you kind of get this kind of quote unquote double the commission in a sense. And it's a whole thing that we don't need to get too much more into, but that's from my understanding, based on what I've seen in other shows and based on what they said here, only Chrishell's name showed up
Oh
on this
wow.
on
I didn't know that at all. Because
yeah.
now I'm recalibrating my thoughts
And
on
I
this.
could, and again, and I could be wrong. I
Okay.
could be wrong. But it's either here are the options. It's either only Chrishell's name was on that listing or both the names are on the listing and Nicole is still mad.
I
But
thought
she
my
but
understanding was both their name was on it.
okay, so then why is Nicole, if that is the case, why is Nicole mad? Your name is still on the listing.
She's mad because she doesn't believe that Chrishell deserved her name to be on it because she didn't work on it. That's her that's what she said initially, is that Chrishell didn't do much of anything. So why is she getting credit for something that she didn't really
And and
work on?
again, I'm sorry, Nicole, but I cannot listen to what you're saying because I can't believe anything that comes out of your mouth. It
Right.
just doesn't make, again, I'm not saying that what you're saying is necessarily wrong. I just don't trust you. So
I
it
just
could,
don't see Chrishell as the type of person to be paired with someone who is seasoned. She wouldn't take advantage of that, learn from them, put her best foot forward,
yes,
and try to,
yes.
do what she's supposed to do. Like, I can't see that. So to say that she didn't really do anything to have her name on there, it's like, even if you're a part of something or you're a part of the team, yeah, you deserve credit. It doesn't matter the magnitude of work that you've done.
Yeah.
You deserve credit and
Yeah.
acknowledgement for what little effort that you put into this. So I don't know. I don't know what Nicole's
It's,
getting at. She's kind of being nitpicky at this point.
I
She's
think at the
just
end of the
coming up with
day,
reasons to like get at Chrishell.
yes, I think she's jealous on a multitude of reasons, and we'll get
Right.
there. Um, so yeah, so Chrishell was new, and as you mentioned, Nicole felt that she did all the work. We're not going to know exactly what happened. We were not there. We never heard anything. But like you said, I can't imagine, especially in the beginning stages where I felt like Rochelle was so eager to learn
Exactly.
and learn the ropes and do all of that. I can't imagine that she sat there and didn't do the work, or at the very least was taking this all in and was trying to do what she could do. She's new to this. So I don't know. Again, I do feel what you said too, that Nicole is just nitpicking at anything she can nitpick at. Okay, so then we're with Bree and Heather at a listing. I don't know whose listing it is. I don't really care. um,
Somebody rich, somebody who got money. Yeah.
exactly. Um, so they stuffed themselves in the freezer. I vaguely remember this because it's been a while since I watched the show, guys. But I vaguely remember them. Yes, yes, they were in the kitchen. Obviously, that's where freezers are, and they were looking at like the fridge, and the fridge was huge. So you first saw Brie go into the freezer side of the fridge, and Heather's like, "Oh, it's really hot. Can I get in there too?" And then they stuff themselves into the freezer. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Why do you
Why
just
not? I'm thinking, why not?
I
Hell.
mean I mean, like, at the same time, I'm thinking, okay.
Cool.
I'm just like, why? Why do you need to stuff yourself in the freezer? But if it's that hot, I can understand Heather maybe stuffing herself in the freezer because it's hot. But
Yeah.
I just, there are better ways. Um, so again, again, we're not going to go into much again into this, but again, Bree is talking to Heather about the Brokers Open and was again saying, why were these girls there? And we'll just leave that there because we're going to be hashing that
We've
out.
already exhausted that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's what they're talking about. So
Heather, though, she has a good ear. I mean, like
she does.
she listens well, and she doesn't seem biased. Like she really listened to her friend's concern, like
Yeah.
and she's got her back. So I mean,
and I will give her that.
She's a good person.
I'll give her that.
Yeah.
So now we're with Nicole at her house, and Mary shows
Yeah.
up there because they're friends. They've known each other for years.
Mary, quite contrary. So we got Mary Lou and we got Mary,
No,
quite
no, no. We got Skip to Malou.
Skip to
Skip to
Malou.
Malou.
Skip
And
to Malou. And
yes.
Mary, quite contrary. And she is.
And
Because,
Mary quite contrary. Yeah. so um so they bring up this convo with Chrishell. Did they have oh yes, Mary brings up the convo that she had with Chrishell at the Brokers Open with Nicole.
right.
Such a bad idea. So
Like, why would
Nicole
you go to the enemy and to have any like
again
Mary doesn't have that like
wherewithal.
yeah
Wherewithal. She doesn't
or
have any of it.
awareness or something. She's just
No.
not all there. Like
Ma'am, read the whole goddamn ass room. It's
right.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
So Nicole thinks that Chrishell wasn't that into Jason. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
What the actual fuck are you talking about?
They
Man, where were you when they were together? Because
exactly.
I don't know you. So where were you? I don't quite understand that. Um
And they were planning to have a baby together, ma'am.
Yes.
So take several seats.
Take
So
all the seats.
right. Because if I'm not really into a guy, I'm not planning a future and a lifelong commitment. Thank
That
you.
I will have to be stuck with you for the rest of my life. I'm not doing that. So then, they talk about Jason putting Chrishell on Nicole's listing and her.
Apparently, so we hear a little bit more. According to
Mm,
Nicole, it's because Jason had a massive crush on Chrishell. That is the only reason.
ma'am, shut the fuck up.
That is the only reason.
And I mean, I'm gonna hash this out now. This does get hashed out later on, but I'm gonna hash this out now. Number one, I mean, I'm not really giving, I mean, I'm probably someone giving a conversation away. We'll say that. I won't say between who. But number one, Chrishell was married. We talked about this already. She was married to the guy from This Is Us.
Right.
And she started out in this situation.
I love how we just don't even care to say his name.
Honestly, I can't remember his name. I would probably refer to him as the name on the show, but it's been done for 2 years now, so I don't remember the name of his Kevin. His name was Kevin, so we're gonna call him Kevin.
One of the triplets.
One of the triplets, we're gonna call him Kevin. So she was married to Kevin. And Jason, there was nothing where I thought, oh yeah, Jason's into her. No. Where did you get this from? He was probably dating some young woman at the time. He was in a relationship before he was with Chrishell. Where did you get this?
From nowhere.
And how dare you make an accusation like that?
Right.
Who are you maniac? So according to Chrishell's timeline, she was married. So like I said, so how? So in my personal opinion, I think Nicole, her ego is bruised.
Right.
I just don't know why. Why is your ego bruised? And she feels that she doesn't think Chrishell should have credit for. Oh no, sorry. Nicole feels that she should have credit for Chrishell's success. No. So you helped out with this one listing. Chrishell's been doing the damn thing ever since. You don't get that. And I personally, I don't believe, like I said already, I don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. And yeah, I'm done. I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to say. I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. Do you have any other thoughts?
No, she's
No?
trash. She's trash.
There's that thought. She's trash, everybody.
Trash. And that's on period. Like she's just grasping at straws and she's selling this false narrative about Chrishell. And it can be really detrimental for her overall what is the word?
Overall,
For her character, right? It's like a little bit of character assassination, a little
defamation.
You're getting at her and basically saying that she's not qualified to do shit, and that you're the one who held her hand, and that she wouldn't have gotten this far if it wasn't for Jason's massive crush on her. And like, it's just really not putting her in the best light. And it's like, why is there a need for all of that? Because it seems to be coming from a hateful place for me.
Yeah, I agree.
And let's be for real. This fucking 3 years ago, bitch, you could have said that to her camera 3 fucking years ago. Why are we in present date 2023 learning about this shit? Why not the first season? Why season 6 are we hearing about this shit?
This all happened pre-pandemic.
Right.
We have went through hell and back and we're still talking about this? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, season 6, episode 3. Old Deals Die Hard is the name.
This episode this is so packed. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah?
That's a lot of moving parts. A lot going on.
I mean, I have about just under 2 pages worth of notes. So
Oh,
let's see how we go here.
okay.
All right. So my very, very first thought. I forgot Davina was on the show. I don't even know if Davina is even on the show per se, but
That
her.
was me too.
I'm like, you're still here, girl?
Is her mic on? Because I didn't even hear her.
I don't think I ever
Lines?
heard her
Can we write
talk.
her a few lines this season? Like, come on. Oh man.
I
I kind of enjoyed the drama around her in previous seasons and how kind of
yeah.
assertive she was and boss bitch vibes, like in her own right,
But I didn't get that from her, from Davina. I didn't get that from her at all.
I got it.
I got this feel of like she's going to follow whoever the boss bitch is. And the boss bitch at that time was Christine, right? That's her name?
Yeah,
Oh,
Christine.
Christine. I think it's Christine. So that's how I felt about Davina. I'd rather Davina over Nicole though, if I had to choose
Oh yeah, for sure.
villains. So
I didn't really have a problem with her, to be honest, in comparison to Christine, if we're gonna if we're gonna go there. But
yeah.
yeah, they need to give her some lines, pencil her in, write something. Like,
We're like
sad.
we're trading you in for a better version.
Listen, she had a whole fucking season around
She
her.
did.
That $50 million list that consumed an
She did.
entire fucking season, and now she doesn't get a fucking line.
Because I'm
Who's in
honest,
charge here?
the people who aren't there, aka Jason and
Does
Brett.
Jason not have a massive crush on Davina? Can we get her some lines?
That's what it takes to get like some sort of recognition. You had to have dated Jason. So
Right.
well, at least we got one laugh.
Yes.
Okay, so Jason's girlfriend is coming, I guess, to meet everybody.
Yes, we finally, well, not finally, but we get to see Skip to Malou meet the cast,
Everybody.
the girls
Everybody. Yeah.
at the office.
And everybody. So then this is when we finally hear that Jason has dated 3 women in total
Everybody.
in his brokerage. Those
Everybody.
3 women would be Mary, as we already know, Chrishell, as we already know, and Nicole. Dun dun dun.
And
Okay.
there it is. Boom, there it is.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh honey bunny, are you jelly? Is
Mm-hmm.
that what's going on here? Even though you have a whole ass husband.
And Jason, have you no self-control, sir? How many women are in LA? Or where are they? Where's the office?
They're in
Anyway,
LA. They're in LA.
come on, like really? You
Yeah.
where you eat? What's
You,
happening?
you are in a city. And let's not well, we'll focus mainly on LA and this. I don't know how this works, the surrounding areas of LA, but you have such a pool of daters and different kinds of women that
Mm-hmm.
you keep shitting where you sleep.
Right.
I don't get it.
And
I
he takes pride in being the OG, the original girlfriend. So
yes.
there's that.
Yes. And I'm thinking, listen, there is no pride in being the quote unquote
One of
OG
Jason,
girlfriend.
or in being one of Jason's many, okay?
Yes, many,
His long, extensive
many.
list of women. Like, come on. I would want to bury that shit. I'd forget all about that.
Yes, I would be so embarrassed. I'm like, you know
Right.
what? It was a rough time. I was lonely.
I would claim all shit. I was in a bad part of my life.
You know what? I realized that I had some mental health situation going on
Right.
because I would have had to if I
Hell,
had to
my
deal with
kid
him.
died and I was sad and
Yeah.
whatever. But
I had things to deal with and
man,
you know, like I would have brushed that so far under the rug.
I
I
know.
wouldn't have admitted it. So okay, so she just turned 25 talking about Skip to Malou,
Right.
aka Jason's girlfriend.
Right.
Um
Well, I
but even even though she's still technically, I guess in American terms, 24 years old, but she says she's now 25 because in Europe,
Yeah.
it's now their birthday and it's not her birthday. You're
It's
not
like,
in Europe.
ma'am, nobody cares. We're not going to be doing any conversion
No.
rates here. You are 24. Thank you.
You're currently
Okay?
in the US of A. You're not in France
Right.
or wherever else you
Right.
go to. I
Nobody
know
cares
she's
for
from
all that.
France.
Yeah. Nobody
No.
cares about all that extra info. You is 24. Thank you. You
Yeah.
know, like so
yeah. So anyways, we learned that she studied economics, whatever. And
and what about it?
you economically aren't making sense because you're economic. Okay, you say you studied economics, and then you're dating a guy. I don't want to go there, but I'm going to go there. You're dating a guy who is like 20 plus years your senior, who makes a lot of money. So,
Right.
girl, economically, I
Right.
guess you're doing the damn thing. I good for your hustle, I guess.
Yeah.
So we then learn that Bree is in an open relationship with Nick Cannon. And my note says, for now, ma'am. Yeah.
Is that where it went to after they met her and then
Well, I mean, do we really have to hash out when they met her? They like her, blah, blah, blah. Right. It's great.
oh, well, I mean,
Yeah. Is there anything else?
well, did you want to comment on Nicole's reaction to her? Like how she, because
Oh, I don't
in
think
the
I wrote
last,
that down.
well, in the
Yeah.
last episode, we kind of touched on her hatred for Chrishell, right? So
Right.
we got to show a
Oh,
little
right.
because she was kind of like, oh, I totally love her. Like she was kind of like shit
Yes.
for that.
But here's what I'll say about Nicole liking Skip to Malou. Skip
Right.
to Malou is not a threat.
Right.
Because in all honesty, she likes Mary. And Mary is more to her caliber to some extent. Skip to Malou is not. Right?
Right.
So even though, yes, she is now Jason's new squeeze or whatever, she,
Squeeze. We just
she
literally just dated ourselves.
we did.
We did.
We just did. Like, I also think that Nicole doesn't see a threat with
Right.
Skip to Malou because she is a model, Skip, and whatever, and she's young
Obviously, she's
and
waiting on Chrishell. She's gonna back the new girlfriend because
yeah,
she's just
because
there over. Oh, I totally love her. Okay,
and to add
well,
on
because
to
Chrishell, like that's it's she's so gross.
and then
Like,
to add on to it, Nicole kind of says like before that, well, I don't think Chrishell is really that into Jason, and now here skips Malou, and she's so into Jason, so it just
right,
whatever.
exactly,
So
exactly.
it's kind of like, well, oh,
Yeah, it was just
she's
interesting to see her reaction because clearly she does not like Chrishell, and it's like
yes,
she can't help herself but to make these comments, these unwarranted comments, these backhanded comments, and like it's so obvious. It's
and
so
it's
obvious because
so
I
unnecessary.
I bet you she doesn't have a freaking relationship with Skip to Malou. What do you really like about her? Oh, you love her. Oh, she's so great. She's so awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Are you guys pen pals? Are you guys friends? You guys hang out? How do you know
no, of
all that?
course
You know she's
not.
so great and so awesome. You don't know that. You're just saying it because you hate Chrishell so much. And you want to rub it in Chrishell's face like, oh my God, I've never seen them happier. Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird energy, mean girl energy, right?
Yeah,
But
it's
anyway.
it's just is yeah. Okay, so now we're with Bree.
Yeah.
And we find out that Bree and Nick are in an open relationship.
Right.
And then
My first initial thought was like, how did we get here? How did we get to this conversation? We just
because
to Malou from chilling, and then all of a sudden, wait, so your baby daddy is like, and it's just like, what a transition. Shit.
and I literally wrote down, for now, ma'am, you're in an open relationship with Nick Cannon because baby number 200 is coming. That is some foreshadowing. I wrote this down before we'll get there. But that is some serious ass foreshadowing that I didn't know.
I personally don't think that she chose to be in an open relationship. I think it is that way, and I think she's going with it. I don't think that personally she would choose this for herself, even though I don't want to give away too much in the rest of the season, but even with her explanation of everything, I still don't 100% buy it that this is what she really thinks is the best
I don't either.
Scenario for her and her child with Nick Cannon, Mr. Sperm Donor.
I mean, I think that the thing is that when we kind of find out with Bree is that her marriage ended, she's clearly devastated by that. I think there is some other issues that is going on with Bree that she does discuss later on. And I think with all of that said, I think she is willing to accept this half of a relationship with this person who isn't going to give her everything. However,
a whole new meaning. This is like way there.
However, with that being said, if Bree is really truly happy with this situation and this arrangement that she has with Nick Cannon, then more power to you, I guess. I personally wouldn't accept that, but that's me.
Right.
So then,
each his own.
Exactly. So then we kind of, I guess, get this conversation with Chelsea kind of saying, but I don't believe in that. My mind can't wrap around this type of situation. The monogamy is the way to go. And Ray says boom ba. Like
she tried to call her out. She tried to say like, oh, you're in an open relationship. Okay, so he can have relationships with another woman and then, come and see you. And Bree tried to explain like, no, we wake up to each other, we go to bed with each other. And she's like, well, how are you in a relationship, an open relationship, if you're waking up to him every morning?
My question
with other people is what she's trying to say. So she's calling her out like that's bullshit.
What I'll say to somewhat defend Bree is that if there is a couple in a traditionally open relationship, they are committed to each other to the extent that they are then opening up their relationship to other prospects. If that is what my idea of an open relationship is, if that is something that you're going to choose to do. However, I am confused by what Bree means by open relationship when this man is on now, I believe, child number 12. And he is clearly in some sort of either arrangement or relationship with these other women. So I'm confused. Is he committed to you in the sense that he is only in a relationship with you, and then he can open himself up to have children with other women? Or is he, because I'm curious to know, what does he say? Is he committed to any one person, or is he just spreading his seed to whoever is willing to deal with him? Because I do not see Nick Cannon as being in a relationship with anybody. I see him having relationships to the extent that he gets the woman pregnant, whether multiple times or whatever, and then moving on to the next. Because this man wants to spread his seed to whoever he wants to spread his seed to.
I think he thinks he's Father Abraham. Now, if you were raised in a religious Christian home, you know Father Abraham had many sons.
And you are not, sir.
Right. Like, but he has that complex, right? Like he thinks he is that guy. That he can father all these kids and it's okay. That's what he's been put on this earth to do. He has something. He has a podcast, I think, or a radio show or something where he openly speaks about this type of things. And I think he really believes that's one of his purpose on earth is to multiply, right? So yeah.
So then in that case, then Bree, he is not as committed to you as maybe you want to think he is.
Right. And I think she convinced herself of that though.
I think so.
She's trying to sell that narrative.
I'm not buying it.
No.
However, if you are okay with this arrangement, then call it what it actually is. Do not make it look better because then that makes me think you
Exactly.
actually are embarrassed by this arrangement you have with him.
Exactly. If you're making excuses and you're trying to sell me on a story, then clearly you're not believing it either.
Exactly. And I don't quite understand. Me personally, and I have to, I mean, we're kind of maybe going ahead a little bit here, but I have to agree with Chelsea too. When it comes to this and only this, is you know what you're getting yourself into when you decide to have a child with this man. And then the problem that I have is that these children are not going to have a quality father in their life
Yeah.
because he has spread himself so thin amongst these children that he has. We already know that he is from Mariah Carey's perspective, we already know that he is not spending as much time as he should be with his first two children.
Right.
We already know this.
And
So
that's Mariah fucking Carey. Okay.
exactly.
The
So
goat.
I'm going to listen to her over anyone else. And we already know this. So he's spreading himself so thin that he cannot spend quality time with his children. He has a million and one jobs in order to support these children. And we later find out that once you hit a certain number of kids, you
Yeah.
are no longer legally obligated to financially support these children. I am so done.
I'm
Like,
wow. That when that bomb dropped, I was like, what?
I was so
He's
pissed.
throwing his seed around and counting as he goes.
Yes,
You know that, right? He's
yes.
counting.
And here's my thing. If anyone out there really thinks that Nick Cannon is doing this out of the purity of his heart, you're sadly mistaken. If you think for a second that this man did not plan ahead and look, oh, if I have like 15 children, I no longer have to legally pay for this is this man knows what he is doing.
Hell, he didn't have to look it up. He got people, but
Oh
he knew.
yeah, but yeah, you know what I mean.
He knew.
His people found out and whatever. If you think for because then that makes me think, okay, this isn't for the out of the purity of his heart and wanting to multiply and whatever.
Exactly.
This is I don't know what his motives are besides I know he has said
Probably.
because he's sick and I think he has lupus or something. I can't remember
Yeah,
what
he
is
does have lupus.
lupus, right?
Mhm.
Eh,
Yeah.
let's,
Sidebar. He's so fine though. Honestly, I'm
I'll
like,
give him that. But
I
let me
know, but I mean, I'm just trying to throw that out there. He's
oh
so
no,
fine.
he
Damn, he's
is.
fine.
He
Damn,
is.
he's fine. Tattoos, muscles, everything. Like I'm here for
Here
it. He's
but
fine.
listen, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have sex with the man. I'm not saying
He's
that.
a well-structured man, I'll tell you.
But what I will say is I'm gonna make sure that I am well on the birth control pill before I let him anywhere near me.
Absolutely.
I'm talking like I'm gonna have to plan ahead 6 months, make sure we're good. There's no loopholes with my medic. No, like
Yeah.
I don't understand the motives of the women, him, the people who are losing out are the children, and in this case, and
Which is again, I don't want to give anything away, but it doesn't align with Bree's story of her
it,
family background and all the things that she says, which we'll talk about in another episode, but it just doesn't align with what she's doing now and her upbringing and sort of her feelings towards that. I don't think they align as much.
they don't,
So
they
yeah,
don't.
we will talk about that another time.
We will get there.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Okay. So Bree has a client that she's showing a house to, and after she shows him the house. He then says to her, "Oh, so I know Emma," which I think we did find out before that Emma knew this client. And he says, "Emma reached out to me to show me homes." Now, for those of you who maybe don't watch the show, don't watch enough of these types of shows that are on TV right now, when someone basically, in a sense, poaches or tries to poach your client, that's a huge no no in the real estate world. I don't believe it's like It's ethically inappropriate.
But in this case, would it be considered poaching if she doesn't want to lock her clients down and she doesn't have that buyer's exclusivity? Like,
But that's why I say it's more
client though. Don't think so.
That's why I say it is more ethically inappropriate. Right. Even if you did lock them down.
Right. Either way, you don't want to be known as this person that's going around trying to,
Exactly. Right. And for those who saw previous seasons, this happened, except Emma was the receiving person where she had Christine trying to poach a client, or they have actually, I think, successfully poached a client from her.
Christine say, like, I'll pay you $5,000 to leave her or something?
Yes.
Something crazy.
Yes. Now that is a true poaching. That was poaching.
Yeah.
Christine absolutely knew what she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually come to think of it, I don't think she was successful in that. That client ended up going to Emma and telling Emma that this is what happened.
Right.
And then Emma confronted Christine, blah, blah, blah.
That aligns with Christine's personality. To make this allegation about Emma, it would be a little bit harder for me to believe it. I would need to hear more context, because the way that the client related to Bree, I was just like, we need more information. Like, because if you guys are friends, maybe she was just having a friendly conversation. She knew nothing of Bree. Maybe you didn't verbalize that. So it's not too far-fetched that your friend who sends you vegetarian empanadas, who you would know is also a real estate agent, would say, hey, like, next time you come through. I think it was something just casual that she may have said, like, listen, if you're in town, let me show you around. Like, I can show you something, but not going out of her way to say, listen, I'm gonna lock you in for this 5:30 appointment, come and I don't think it was really that serious. I think she probably said it casually, like, if you're in town, let's meet up. I can even show you some houses and you can eat my empanadas. Like, I don't think it was really that serious. I
don't think it was. So now we're at dinner with Jason and Skip to Malou. And Mary, and her husband. So we're not going to go into the whole ass conversation between them, but we're going to go to this part. We're going to go to the part where Jason says, you know what, Mary, I'm thinking of going to Europe for 3 weeks.
Right.
And I'm like, okay.
Wait, can we stop at the part where they asked her, Mary asked Skip to Malou about kids? Because this may or may not be important.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, she did ask, people would want to know. He's dating this young ass girl who's 24 in the US and 25 in Europe. Okay. So we want to know, girl, are you trying to have kids or whatever? Because this was the big issue between him and Chrishell, why they broke up, right?
Yes.
So,
I mean, I think there wasn't much. The conversation was kind of like blah, because there wasn't much to it, because Skip to Malou says, well, I'm not ready for kids right now, maybe in another 10 years or so. So she's not there, which means then, girl, 10 years from now, Jason was not going to even be with you then. So then you'll be having a kid with somebody else.
Let's be for real, right?
And I'm just going to say, this might change our view on the rest of this, but spoiler alert for those who don't want to know, stop listening right now for about maybe 10 seconds. They're not together anymore. It came out that Jason and Skip to Malou broke up. Even
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just found that out.
We need sound effects, because this is a serious.
I will be looking at 2 soundboards.
This is amazing.
Yeah, they're not. They're not together.
Last this fucking season, and here we are talking 10 years deep. Okay, forget what I said about the babe. Irrelevant. Even Mary, I think Mary also made that comment, like, if you guys are together that long, she was just making jokes about how 40, like, she'd want to have kids maybe 36 or 40, and she was like, that's old.
That is old.
Like, Mary's like, bitch, I'm 42. Like,
But again, Mary is 42, who already has a child from a previous relationship and
Right.
is trying to have another child with her husband.
That was another spoiler. Oops.
Wait, what?
That was another spoiler because that
No,
was.
that they've been talking about that for
Oh,
since
were
last
they?
season. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they've
Oh no.
been talking.
Yeah. In more
Yeah.
detail, she. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, not to say that any woman can have a child when they're ready, but
Right.
when it comes to science, you only have a certain amount of time.
Right.
Um, so anyways, yeah, so with Jason saying that he wants to go to Europe, can you hold down the fort? 3 weeks is a long time, and I'm sorry, Jason, I don't have confidence in Mary because we can already see that Mary is just falling apart at the seams and nothing's happened yet.
Absolutely.
So not only will she have to deal with her own stuff, she's gonna have to take on Jason's stuff. And you can already see her being like, I'm going to lose my mind.
Right.
So
I mean, he didn't give her much notice either, right?
no,
Like,
he just said, I'm leaving.
yeah,
I'm going.
that's crazy.
And I don't think we actually talked about this, but we can briefly talk about the fact that Jason met Skip to Malou and Mykonos, where he also went on a trip with Chrishell.
Right. Gross.
There
Of
are
all
other.
places in the world, and of all the women
You
in the
keep going to Mykonos.
right, is that all you know, sir?
I
He,
mean,
he's kind of like a one trick
one
pony.
trick pony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just so gross. Like he shits where he sleeps. He has the 3 women in the office that he's been with, and then now you're bringing them all to the same. Like that's gross.
It's
That's
just,
gross.
he's too much. Um, okay, so now we're at Nicole and Mary's listing. I'm not sure actually whose listing it is. I'm gonna assume it's probably Nicole's listing because Mary walks in and Nicole's already there. Um, so Mary talks about the fact that Chrishell brought up to Jason about the fact that he is dating a 24/25-year-old and kind of saying like, ma'am, you're dating a 29-year-old. Like, who are you to talk about it? Don't understand why this is a conversation,
Right.
but nonetheless, here we are.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see again that Nicole is comparing. I think she was comparing like the relationship between Chrishell and Jason and the relationship between Jason and now Skip to Malou. And again, I'm just like, but I don't know what you're comparing because as far as I know, you weren't around. So why
Right.
are you comparing anything? And you can just, I write, she's salty.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And is
Anything that she can bring against Chrishell, like it comes so naturally to her to draw these connections. It's crazy. She's crazy.
here's what I'll say about Nicole, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist by any means, but I do get a very narcissistic tendencies coming out of her in the sense that she believes her nonsense.
Yeah.
While the rest of us are like, but that doesn't make any sense.
Right. And it's so funny when she's saying this. Heather's just, oh, bless her heart, Heather. Heather's just like, I'm getting that you don't really like Chrishell. And I was just like, bitch, was it obvious? Did we have to hit you upside the head with the hate?
Poor Heather.
Just like her.
Poor Heather is sometimes can be very clueless as to what is going on around her.
You know what? She has a mommy brain, so I'm gonna give her a pass
No, no,
because
no. No. She's not getting a pass. Here's why, because she's always been that way before she was pregnant. So this girl walked up, I don't care that you're a vegan, by all means. And I still can't get over the fact that this woman does not know what an Oreo is.
yeah.
So yeah.
All right. I retract my statement.
And here's where the messiness comes in, everybody. Buckle up. Here we go. We're at Chelsea's Brokers Open.
Right.
I don't remember where they are, but it's that nice kind of it's kind of a quaint little house there. That's not little. And
Right.
it's by like the beach. You can see the beach down the street and whatever. So this little house. Everyone is there.
Yep.
Except
Exchange.
except for Davina and Jason, but Davina's not on the show. And maybe Jason's in Europe now. I don't know. Um, so Bree pulls Emma aside to talk about the whole situation with the client.
Right.
You know, you trying to poach my client, man. Like, what's going on here?
Right. And
Emma
I do
said,
appreciate that she pulled her aside as opposed
which
to
is what you should
right.
have done with Chelsea.
Right.
Yeah.
So now she's doing it right. She's getting it right. So it's okay.
Yeah.
We're learning. We're learning as we go.
Exactly.
Right.
So Emma said, I didn't do that.
Yeah. First she tried to play dumb, like who your client?
Who are you talking about?
Who?
And that's what made me think, like, I don't believe her, because why are you playing dumb? We already talked about this client, the fact that you said, did you know who this person was?
Right.
But I actually think that Emma wasn't trying to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think she was trying to be like trying to take her client or anything. I don't think that's what happened.
I do like that she stood up for herself respectfully, like she wasn't, going all out. Because when you're telling the honest to God truth, you don't need to do all of that extra shit.
Exactly.
You say what happened, and you move on from it, which is what she did. She was like, yo, get to know me. I'm not who you think I am. Like,
exactly.
And the fact that he was trying to make it more than it is, I don't think she went a more confrontational approach as to really questioning her to get to know the information, to get to the bottom of it. It wasn't that approach. She went like left, like, my client told me you're trying to poach. Like, is that what you're doing? Like, instead of
and I do understand that, because why would he say this? That's not actually how it happened.
Right.
But at the same time, he could have taken something and just ran with it. Right. Or could this have potentially been producer driven? Anyways, we'll leave that there, but
anything's possible. We're not ruling anything out. We're just saying.
Yeah. And for some reason, and I don't recall this, but I could see it happening.
Is it the empanadas?
No.
Oh.
No.
She said, ask him how my empanadas taste. And I was like, girl,
damn.
What show are we on? What channel is this? Because
it's Netflix,
What?
Bree brought up Christine. And the fact that, as we said before earlier, that Christine tried to do this to Emma.
Right.
My girl, that is a low blow.
Right.
Because there is more drama between Emma and Christine than just that.
Right.
So that was low.
Her approach to the whole thing was not a fact-finding approach. It wasn't like, I'm here to get some information to figure out what's going on with my client. It was I'm going to drag your ass if it needs to be dragged because you've wronged me. And you've wronged the wrong one.
And
like,
I think unfortunately with Bree, she is very confrontational first and listen later. Like, she didn't come in here to listen to her side. She came in here to confront her and say what she had to say.
Right.
Yeah, so as you said, Emma ends that off with, ask him how my empanadas taste. Damn.
And she was like, when in doubt, hide behind your empanadas. I was like, girl.
She's making a killing on her empanadas. Come on.
Hey, like, let's not do that, okay?
And then Nicole talks to Chrishell.
Well, this was a Mary, quite contrary.
Oh God.
Thought it was a brilliant idea as a fucking manager
for them to talk instead of mediating the situation.
Brokers open. Why, ma'am? You are not equipped. You are not ready for this managerial position. Because if you thought that was a brilliant fucking idea, you, ma'am, need to hang it up. Because that was
before you even got it, Patsy. Like, you barely have it.
Exactly.
Gotta hang it up.
Like, literally, you just got away from the dinner with Jason, and 2 seconds later, the following day,
You know what? I think you two should talk it out by yourself.
right.
No, I think in all honesty, Chrishell has no clue that Nicole doesn't like her.
No, I don't think not I think she senses something because remember in previous episodes she said there's like this tension, like did you guys notice there's this tension, whatever. So she did voice that. She felt uncomfortable, she felt something, but she did not know the magnitude of to which this woman hates her.
Exactly.
It is hate.
But we're going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that in a second. So Heather told Chrishell before they finally sit down and talk, Heather told Chrishell what Nicole was saying about the fact that Jason only put you on this listing because he had a crush on you.
Right, as she should.
As she should.
We loyal to Chrishell. We stand Chrishell. And we
yes.
Too. Yep.
But obviously this is going to start off just really bad. So according to Chrishell, so we haven't had Chrishell's side of the story. So according to Chrishell, Jason brought both Chrishell and Nicole on his listing.
Yeah.
Chrishell did not take any commission. Let me repeat. Chrishell did not take a single dime of commission from
which begs the question, what's the fucking problem?
Why are you mad?
What's this really about?
Exactly. And apparently Chrishell also mentions that she has given Nicole listings of hers.
Right.
That either she's going to be on vacation or whatever the case may be, she has given Nicole some of her listings. And is very confused at this point why Nicole is upset. And I'm going to assume the reason I wrote victim mentality is because Nicole calls out Chrishell and says she's acting like a victim or has this mentality. What are you talking about? Because your reasoning for being upset with Chrishell makes no sense to Chrishell and makes no sense to the viewers. We don't understand why you're mad. And what credit did she take? And I also say Nicole is delusional. There's nothing more to it. She is delusional. And Chrishell, I felt like she handled herself well. And not
only God, I loved it.
Yes.
I was like, I literally stood up. I was like, it was like watching like FIFA World Cup or something. Like I stood up and I was like cheering. I was like, yes, bitch. Like stand up for yourself. I've never seen Chrishell worked up like this.
No.
I've never seen this.
And she said too, like Nicole said, we're not friends. We're not friends.
Right.
And Chrishell's like, we may not be best of friends, but I thought we were at least decent.
Right. Not in this episode. Not in this episode. That was.
Which brings me, we're going to quickly go through that. I think now is a good time to talk about the post that Chrishell posted on Instagram about the receipts that she has. And I'm not going to read every bit of this, but you can tell that Nicole is DMing Chrishell and saying like, oh yeah, like they want me on the show and blah blah blah, and I'm so scared, like I've never like been in this situation, blah blah blah. And Chrishell says, oh Nicole, that's great. Because also Nicole says, like, can you help me with like give me tips on how to handle this? Chrishell's like, yeah, of course. Yeah. And then Nicole then says, okay, great, let me know when you're available and when you want to go. If you prefer not to go somewhere, I could always pick up food and come to your house.
Right.
I thought you guys were friends.
Exactly. So now you can see why Chrishell is a little bit blindsided
Yeah,
by the conversation with Nicole, because it's like, what? Like, obviously, I didn't think we were the best of friends, but I thought we were cool. They're not
exactly.
even cool because this bitch has hated her from day one and has been planting the seed in everybody's mind that Chrishell is somehow a problem because of something that happened 3 fucking years ago that she didn't collect commission on, that you and Jason profited from. So it's like, what is the real problem here?
Here's what I'll say about Nicole in this whole situation. There's one of two things happening here. Either number one, she actually is friends with Chrishell and is trying to play this fake ass role on the show. Or she actually truly does not like Chrishell and has been fake with her right up until this point.
You think
And now is showing her true colors. Either way, she's fake.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Like,
know.
I don't know which way it goes, but from how I felt like it's the
She's
first.
doing this for a storyline just to,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
That's wow.
But I just, and honestly, like, I was alerted to this post from Ava, and I had already watched, like, I had luckily just finished watching, I think, this episode and thinking, or maybe the fourth episode, because this conversation goes into the next episode, and thinking, oh God, like, thank God I just watched this episode. I'm not being truly spoiled by anything. And I'm thinking to my, when I finally read this, I'm like, girl's a fake. I mean, I already knew she was delusional, but now let's add fake to the mix. But so yes, that is the end of episode 3. And any other thoughts before we close ourselves out?
No, I think we passionately covered everything.
I think so.
And yeah, can't wait to cover the rest of the episodes because it gets better and better. It's the season that keeps on giving, and there's more on Chrishell and the Nicole feud, and yeah, lots to look forward to. So
a lot to come when it comes to Delusional Mary as well. We got lots coming.
By the way, since you read that post from Chrishell, did Nicole post anything? Like to clarify anything?
I haven't checked since checking the first time after I saw this.
Okay.
But I did check, say, maybe a day or so after she had posted this.
Okay.
From what I could tell, and again, I could be wrong, it didn't look like anybody responded to this, to Chrishell posting this.
Right, mic drop.
But, and I guess we, you know what, there's a reason why I think at least one cast member didn't respond to anything. I'm going to wait to talk about that until we get to an episode that makes that maybe look a little and sound better and make it make sense and everything like that. We're not there yet, but there's a reason at least one cast member hasn't said anything. Okay. Anyway. All
right, good.
Everyone, thank you for listening. So, please rate, subscribe. Again, we're on everything. We're on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, TuneIn. Please share with your friends, your significant others, whoever you want to share the love of us to anybody. You can visit us on our socials. We're currently on Facebook and Instagram at Reality Tea Times2. There we post all updates that we have kind of coming down, the pike. And yeah, and again, all links to the socials. If you want to email us, you can email us. All that information is going to be in our show notes. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Bye. Bye.